So listen, last time we was on the podcast, man, it was so great. We did the part one to God created marriages, right? In part one, we was talking about the suitable helper, right? And how my wife is my partner, and how I'm her partner, and this is a partnership. But the whole totality of this series is to really give people the in depths of that God actually created marriages. And today we're gonna end it because we got another portion coming for y'all, the threefold cord, but we ain't gonna get too into that, But today we're gonna speak about the wedding, right? And we didn't know till we start studying. God start unveiling the scripture to us. We were like, wow.
Because you think it comes from from tradition.
Yeah,
And you have the pastor or the judge say the vows, or however it goes, and you repeat those vows, and you thinking it's in the Bible, but it's nowhere in the Bible.
Let me tell you, thank you for saying that, because you're so smart. The wedding vows is not in the Bible. You can search, but they're not in the Bible. But here when we was looking at, we started in Genesis 2:22. First, God already showed us He made the spirit of man and woman, right, in Genesis 1:27. But here, this is where God said He started creating the body and forming the woman. We got to clarify the transition from this woman to a wife.
The whole time He was calling Eve woman. He never said wife until you get to that one scripture.
So Genesis 2:22, God says, listen, I'm going to make this woman for Adam rib. God brought Eve to Adam, and Adam said, oh, flesh of my flesh. I should call her woman. And then there's a transition. Now this is where the union come together. This is the first marriage ever, right? In Genesis 2:24. You do the honors. Say what it say. Say what it say.
Then it says in Genesis 2:24. Now this is not Adam speaking. Okay. So it says that therefore,
and that's the my bad to cut you off, but that's a transitional word, because they was talking about God brought the Eve to Adam. He said, listen, here's the woman. Adam said, wow, I'm gonna call her woman. And then it says therefore in 2:24.
Yes, it says therefore a man should leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife. And that's when she's presented as a wife.
Wow. That's like really the first technical wedding vows. And then because there's a transition, then in the next verse it says that Adam and his wife were naked and unashamed. She gets the label of wife. Now it was a transition. She's no longer called woman, especially through God. So Sophia, now discovering that God created marriage, because think about it, this is the first institution He created. He created marriage before the church. He created marriage before He sent them to go and till the ground and go and prepare the earth for a population. But the first thing He did was created marriage. So what was the impact of when you discovered this, and it was like, wow, God created marriage?
Realizing that God created marriage, you realize that, okay, I'm not just in a marriage with my husband. I'm in a marriage with God, the Almighty. It's between me, Him, and His Spirit. Me, you, and His Spirit. So when you get married, you take out the tradition views. Once you learn that God created a wedding, marriage, and you put God in a place and like, oh, okay, now I really have to honor marriages, in my own marriage, because God is in this marriage, and if I love God, I'm gonna honor God by honoring my marriage.
It's something deep. We heard this young man speak on. He was like, man, I'm married to God's daughter, and you married to God's son. And it kind of helps you cherishing each other, because like you said, and we spoke of many times, which will be the next video about the threefold cord, is that you have this marriage consists of the wife, the Spirit of God, and the husband. And so like just having those three components in a marriage, your marriage will flourish, because if you allow the spirit of God to lead your marriage, you know. So and it's funny because what we just heard this, somebody say God is not in marriage. You know, what'd you get out of that? What'd you get out of that?
I would say God is definitely in the marriage, but if you say that He's not in a marriage, He's not in your marriage. You know, if you're saying that God is not in a marriage because you don't have Him personally, you don't have Him in your marriage.
Wow.
Other than that, I believe God is in every marriage. You know, I believe God been in our marriage before we even got called. You know, and it's just God is the one that holds everything together.
He
you know,
sustains all things.
Yes. For 19 years, we are still striving in our marriage. You know, and that's why I say God. Even when we didn't know God like we thought we knew Him, He was always in our marriage. You know, we just missed Him. You know, but He was always there.
Yeah, and it's something like, because you know we have been given a mandate to teach marriage from a biblical point. So some people may say, "Man, you put too much Bible and you put too much." That we have to give you marriage from the blueprint. Yes. Right, from the creation of it, and then going through the scriptures and telling and even giving the people, hey, this is what God expects. Honor all marriages. Why? Because He's in it. If you don't honor marriage, then you don't honor Him. You know, He says, listen, don't let no man separate what God brought together. That means that the union between a husband and a wife is not unified by a wedding band. It's unified by the Spirit of God.